Some of the most memorable villains in fiction aren't monsters. They're people. They're intelligent. Sometimes they're charming. Sometimes they're even likable. Which raises an interesting question. What actually makes a serial killer believable? I'm Jake Winters. I've written 2 crime thriller novels. And one thing I've learned is this. The scariest villains aren't the ones who kill the most people. They're the ones who feel like they could exist. So today, I want to talk about the psychology behind writing believable serial killers. Not how to write shocking thrillers, but believable ones. One mistake I see in movies and books is treating serial killers like supernatural creatures. They're always one step ahead. They never make mistakes. They seem almost impossible to understand. Real people aren't like that. Neither should your villains be. They have jobs, families, hobbies. They get frustrated. They get embarrassed. They have routines. The more ordinary they seem, the more unsettling they become. That doesn't mean readers should agree with them. Far from it. But every believable villain thinks they're making sense, even when they're completely wrong. Maybe they believe they're punishing immoral people. Maybe they think they're restoring justice. Maybe they simply crave control. The motivation doesn't have to be rational. It just has to feel real to the character. This is something fiction often gets wrong. People aren't one emotion all the time. A believable serial killer might laugh at a joke, enjoy a good meal, love their dog, call their mother. Those ordinary moments don't excuse what they do. They make the contrast more disturbing. One of the biggest mistakes fictional killers make is repeating the exact same pattern forever. Real people learn. If something almost gets caught, they change. They become more careful. Or sometimes they become overconfident. Either way, they evolve. Your villain should change as the story changes. No criminal is perfect. Fear changes people. Stress changes people. Arrogance changes people. Eventually, almost everyone slips up. Those mistakes often make for much better storytelling than giving your villain supernatural human intelligence. Thanks to Hollywood, people sometimes think every serial killer is brilliant, handsome, and incredibly persuasive. That's simply not true. Some are socially awkward. Some struggle to hold conversations. Some are impulsive. Some are quiet. Believability comes from individuality, not stereotypes. The best villains don't just threaten your protagonist physically. They challenge them emotionally. They expose fears, question beliefs, force impossible decisions. That's what makes readers keep turning pages. Not the violence, the conflict. When I write crime fiction, I'm actually much less interested in the murders than I am in the people behind them. Why do they believe what they believe? How do they justify it to themselves? How does their thinking affect everyone around them? That's where the story is. The violence isn't the point. The psychology is. If you're a writer, what's your favorite fictional villain? And what made them believable to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you're interested in writing crime fiction, writing, storytelling, and the journey of becoming an author, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm Jake Winters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.